Hello everyone. This video tutorial is going to be going over exercise 910 in the back of tutorial 9. And this object is called, if I remember right, it is called a stop block. And what we are going to be doing with this stop block is creating an auxiliary view. As a reminder, please make sure that your isometric drawing is set at 30-degree angles. Okay, that is where your angular lines need to be set to, is at a 30-degree angle. And this always is the dominant angle when drawing an isometric view. Okay, let me switch back over to home. And as you can see, I've changed my layer to a notes, or we can do the 0 layer because we're going to be using projection lines to draw out an auxiliary view. You will need a reference line which should be perpendicular to your 30-degree angular line. And what I did to create this reference line is I just copy and pasted this line here and then lengthened it to give me enough distance where my projection lines will be protruding through it perpendicularly. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create our projection lines of this drawing, and then we will be creating our auxiliary view once we know where all of our different placements will be. All right, so we're going to start with a line, and we're going to start with the bottom right corner, the closest distance to the reference line. And once you hit that reference line at a 30-degree angle, which is going to be perpendicular to the reference line, or your projection line hits that reference line, you're going to click to end that line. You're going to press spacebar and then press spacebar again to activate that line. And what I'm doing is I am creating all my projection lines for this first half of the stop block. I'm going to wait on those. And so in order to get the same distance from this side of the reference line onto the other side, I'm going to select all of my projection lines that I've created so far. And then I'm going to mirror them and use this as my mirror line. Okay. And then always select no. Okay. So now what we can do is we can start setting up our object. You're going to need to switch back over to your object layer. And then once you have your object layer selected, you're going to select the line command. And you're pretty much just going to, I kind of call it connect the dots, I guess is the best way to describe it. Okay. So now that we have those lines completed, we're going to go ahead and create some more. And what we can do is we're going to select all of these lines. Sorry, we didn't need this line yet, but we're going to keep it just in case. But we are going to delete these other ones. So here, here. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to extend some of these distances to get the other side of our object. Okay. And with those selected, we can go ahead and select the mirror command again, and then use this as our reference, or sorry, our mirror line. Press no. And then the same thing, we're just going to kind of connect the dots. Start. Okay. All right. So if it will let me. There we go. Okay. So we can start to see that our object is taking shape. We are going to go ahead and select our line command, and we're going to finish building the top. And then we're going to add our little step here. Oh, okay. So on the other side, we're not going to need these, but what we can do is we can transfer them down by moving them to different locations and then extending them to the distance we need. All right. Okay. Put this one into the intersection, a reference line. This one we don't need it anymore. Here, extend this one out until it meets that reference line. Okay, now we're going back to our mirror command. Same steps as before. Make sure you use your reference line as your mirror line. And then select no. Select line. Here, here will represent this side. show that side view. Actually, paste. So we're going to copy this line, bring it this way. And then we're going to copy this line and awesome. We're starting to see an auxiliary view starting to develop. Okay, we just need to make a few little connections before we move on. Okay, so lastly, we need to know where the placement of this line and this line will be. So we are going to shorten this line until we hit this intersection here. And also here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and mirror these two lines to get this cut out in the middle completed. Okay, Google, thank you. Apologies, that was a message for my husband by our Google Hub. Now we're going to connect. And we might want to scroll. Oh, yep, see, my line didn't really that intersection. I need to fix that. Okay. And the last thing would be to extend this line out so it meets this corner. Okay. So let's take a look. All right, so great. So we can see that the auxiliary view is a little bit different from what our isometric view started out as. We have a shortened distance on top, and we're seeing more of the right side instead of the left side of this view. And we're also seeing shortened distances within the front. It's also angled in a different direction. But this is how you would create an auxiliary view using AutoCAD and how you can complete exercise 910, the stop block. As always, please make sure if you have any questions to email me. Don't forget to add your border along with your information, and make sure to set your annotations to scale correctly before entering in your border. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great day.